There's a lot we could talk about when it comes to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but the thing I see people talk about the most among people who are looking forward to the game is Captain Boomerang. You would think in a lineup of characters such as King Shark, Deadshot, and Harley freaking Quinn, that Captain Boomerang would probably be the least talked about character of all of them. But hey, it turns out if you give a character super speed, all anybody wants to talk about is said super speed. Initially, when I did my trailer breakdown speculation-esque video, I assumed Captain Boomerang's new ability would be technology-based, but it might not be that cut and dry. I decided to do some research and do a dedicated video on this topic because so many people had been talking about it whenever I talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, so it just seems to make sense to cover the topic. If you appreciate these types of videos, subscribe to keep up to date with more of them, but if you're already a subscriber, be sure to take 2 seconds out of your day just to leave a like. It helps out a bunch. Firstly, I think a good place to start is determining which version of Captain Boomerang we're looking at in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The developers Rocksteady have specifically noted that this version of the character is George Harkness, which we actually already knew because if you take a look at the Will Arnett segment that we got at DC FanDome, you can see his name clearly plastered over the graphic that they used. So we have George Harkness. And even if you're not a big comic book fan, you've probably already seen George Harkness somewhere, whether it be the Suicide Squad movie or the CW universe or even Young Justice. And as a result, you probably know that George Harkness doesn't typically have any type of super speed. So why does he have super speed in the Arkhamverse? Well, a version of Captain Boomerang has in fact had super speed, but it was not George Harkness. It was Owen Mercer, the son of George Harkness and Melanie Thorne. Yup. That Thorne. In short, this version of Captain Boomerang is the half-brother of Bart Allen, which, for the record, Bart Allen does not get enough representation. Why is Bart Allen not in the CW shows? Please put Bart Allen in the Flash movie, do something with Bart Allen. Outside of the comic books, I feel like the only time Bart Allen has ever been used was Young Justice. Use more of this character, he's awesome. Anyway, to recap, Owen Mercer does have super speed, but it's unclear whether or not the character is connected to the Speed Force or not. Owen Mercer, the character himself, specifically claims that his speed is a part of his meta gene rather than the Speed Force, although people have been connected to the Speed Force before and not known it, and then they find out later, so it's possible that he is tied to the Speed Force in some way, though he seems to think that it's just his meta gene, which, based on what I understand, seems like a pretty good conclusion. It makes sense to me. Owen Mercer's speed does not manifest itself anything like any of the other speedsters that are connected to the Speed Force, so it's a reasonable conclusion for himself to have that he is just not connected to the Speed Force. Instead of the traditional speed you expect from a speedster, he gained short spurts of super speed. Generally, he does use this just to catch his boomerangs. But what does that mean for our Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League version of George Harkness? Well, my interpretation is that George Harkness will just have the same meta gene that his would-be son had in the comic books. I don't think that this game's going to take time to delve into George Harkness as a character or his history with Melanie Thorne, or even mention a potential offspring. Instead, I think that George Harkness will effectively be a mixture between himself and his would-be son, Owen Mercer. George obviously maintains his personality, his absence of charm, but it sounds like he's gonna have his son's powers, which adds up when you look back at the trailer. Captain Boomerang exclusively uses said speed as like short bursts rather than like a constant stream of speed, and he also only uses it really to catch his boomerangs. Though I want it to be clear that this is all just speculation on my part. It's totally possible that this is just some type of gadget or technology, and that this has nothing to do with any type of metahuman abilities. But to summarize my conclusion, I think that George Harkness is using a metahuman ability that is not the Speed Force, but he effectively has super speed. And then mechanically, what the developers are going to be able to do with that is they'll be able to give him unique different abilities in the game. Maybe he has a short range dash, which is effectively a teleport, but it looks like super speed. Maybe he's able to leave behind grenades like we saw in the trailer. It's just such a good thing for the developers to have at their fingertips, because now you can make Captain Boomerang that much more interesting. Already, you can do some interesting stuff with Captain Boomerang, but you throw super speed on top of that, well, now all of a sudden everything's opened up. You can do pretty much whatever you want with the character. Regardless of how it all plays out, I think the functionality this provides for the character is awesome. Let me know what you think. Are they just combining George Harkness and Owen Mercer? Do you think it's technology based? Do you think I'm missing something? Maybe there's some other explanation? Let me know in the comments. I hope you were able to enjoy this video, and I hope you're looking forward to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and its release in 2022. Gosh, it feels so long away. I'm sure it will be here soon enough. I want to thank you so much for watching. My name is Bilbsy, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next video.